Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. This is your transfer daily show, keeping up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United, and as you all know there is a lot of players on our agenda. Now, who do you think should replace Paul Pogba at Manchester United if he does decide to leave the football club in the summer? Now, there has been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. Now, I am going to be giving you an update on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid, because we are actually now seeing him as a possible adequate replacement for Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. So, the latest on Saul Niguez is that it has come out and said that Manchester United are set to miss out on the transfer of Saul Niguez. Now, the main explanation for this is because Manchester United are only willing to pay up to £70 million for Saul Niguez, and that's around half than what Atletico Madrid are demanding, because Atletico Madrid have come out and remained ruthless over their valuation, and they've said they want around £132 million for the player, but Manchester United are not willing to pay what Atletico Madrid are demanding. Now, that £132 million figure, would make him one of the most expensive players in the world, and also would make him our record signing, because that's his release clause around £132 million, because back in 2017 Saul Niguez had signed a long-term contract with Atletico Madrid. He'd signed a 9-year contract, and as it stands now he's got around 6 years left on his contract, because he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026 is the player. But obviously, reports came out about this, the other week, saying that Manchester United and Manchester City had expressed their interest in the player. I think Atletico Madrid have been in negotiations over the possibility of extending his contract, but reportedly Saul Niguez had turned down this contract offer. Obviously, Saul Niguez has been a long-serving player for Atletico Madrid. He spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think he's been at Atletico Madrid now around 12 years as Saul Niguez. I think he joined them in 2008. He was in their youth academy for a couple of years, and definitely has become an integral part of Atletico Madrid's team. I think Saul Niguez has made around 286 appearances for Atletico Madrid in all competitions, so he's close now to making 300 appearances in all competitions. He is 25 years of age, is Saul Niguez, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, and he can play as a central or a defensive midfielder. I think when he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half. Liverpool played Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid did win by 3-2, and I think Man United instructed personal scouts to keep an eye out on the player. But do you believe he would be a good, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, Saul Niguez, if he was to come to Manchester United? Because we're looking for someone to partner up with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, and this is what Solskjaer is looking to do. And we have got we've got a few good midfielders in our team. Like I mentioned, we've got Fred. He's done really, really well, this season under Solskjaer. Manchester United paid £50 million for Fred, and he was exceptional in Ukraine. But, under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred never really got the opportunity, let's be honest. But I've got to say, this season, he has confounded his critics' run. I've got to give Matic a lot of credit, because he's also done really, really well. We triggered a 1-year extension on his contract the other week, and the main explanation why we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract is reflecting on his good run of performances. You've got Matic now, that's into his 3rd season at Manchester United. Manchester United paid £40 million for him from Chelsea, and he's made over 100 appearances for the club. And I've also got to give McTominay a lot of credit. He's done well alongside Fred in our midfield. But yeah, we have got good midfielders, but Manchester United do need to get a midfielder in the summer transfer window. But I do probably believe that Saul Niguez is Premier League standard, and he would succeed if he did come to the Premier League. But Atletico Madrid have confirmed they want £132 million, and that is his release clause. So he's one player anyway that could possibly replace Paul Pogba. As you all know, I'll reiterate what I mentioned on one of my other videos that I did before, that there's also talks of Aaron Ramsey possibly coming to Manchester United. as part of a swap deal of Paul Pogba making a return back to Juventus. Now, I think a lot of Manchester United fans would be excited about the prospect of Aaron Ramsey coming in, and I think Solskjaer is a big admirer of Aaron Ramsey because he's got a good pedigree in the Premier League. Don't forget, Aaron Ramsey endured 11 years with Arsenal, nearly 12 years, but he endured 11 years with Arsenal, so he was there over a decade, and he was a long-serving player. Aaron Ramsey, made 262 appearances in the Premier League and scored around 40 goals, and I think he made over 300 appearances in all competitions. And he did win 3 FA Cups during his time with Arsenal, did Aaron Ramsey. Arsenal did pay around £5 million in from Cardiff. Obviously, back in 2008, don't forget, Manchester United went in for him, but obviously, he ended up going to Arsenal. But obviously, Aaron Ramsey's in his first season with Juventus. Juventus, of course, did get him on a free transfer from Arsenal last summer. Obviously, I think he's Juventus' second highest paid player behind Cristiano Ronaldo, because Aaron Ramsey's on £400,000 a week. So that actually, could be the stumbling block of Aaron Ramsey coming to Manchester United. Aaron Ramsey has got a contract with Juventus until 2023. Aaron Ramsey's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but you can also play him on the left and you can also play him on the right. And I think he's 29 years of age now, so he has still got quite a few years ahead of him. So would you like to see him come to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Paul Pogba making a return back to Juventus? But there's been a lot of narratives in the mainstream media, about other swap deals possibly happening. Obviously, there's been talks of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Paul Pogba going back to Juventus. Obviously, De Ligt is a centre half. And don't forget, we went in for Matthijs De Ligt last summer. De Ligt last summer, turned down moves to Man United, Barcelona and PSG. And obviously, he joined Juventus. Juventus paid around €75 million for Matthijs De Ligt, which equates to just over 67 million in pound sterling. And I think he's enjoyed a difficult season, with Juventus. But this is only his first season with Juventus. But I've got to say, his performances have been totally comparison to his ones when he was at Ajax. Because I thought Matthijs De Ligt was a revelation at Ajax. He did really, really well. He was key, to Juventus. He was key to Ajax winning the domestic double last season. He was also key to them progressing to the Champions League semi-final. And obviously, don't forget, Matthijs De Ligt became the youngest player ever at the age of 17 years and 285 days old to play in a major European final, and that was against us back in 2017. And he did join Ajax's youth academy at the age of 9, did Matthijs De Ligt, and broke into their senior squad in 2016. And he became the first defender, by the way, to win the Golden Boy Award back in December 2018. So I'd like, Matthijs De Ligt to come in. He's a very, very good centre-half, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in search for a centre-half. And, we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team. We've obviously got Harry Maguire, who Manchester United paid £80 million for last summer from Leicester. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club behind Paul Pogba. And obviously, you've got Lindelof. So Lindelof and Maguire are our first choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups because they've just come back from injury. And Luke Shaw's played as a centre-half quite a few times this season, even though he's predominantly a left-back. Jones, he's another centre-half we've got, but I can see Jones leaving in the summer. Chris Smalling, he's out on loan with Roma. I can see us getting rid of Chris Smalling on a permanent transfer. So it would be beneficial if Manchester United could get a centre-half in. And Matthijs De Ligt, would be the right, calibre player. Only the age of 20 and still got a lot of years ahead of him. Also, his versatility is very, very good. So yeah, there's been talks of a few swap deals possibly happening. Another possible replacement for Paul Pogba is James Maddison. I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding James Maddison this morning? Yes, I did. And obviously, James Maddison has come out and fueled some speculation. James Maddison has said, the best players he's ever played with is Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire, and also to Jadon Sancho. So that's fueled a bit of speculation up. Now, I can't assure that Manchester United are going to sign James Maddison in the summer transfer window, because reports were recently coming out saying that James Maddison that James Maddison is expected to sign a new contract with Leicester, because Brendan Rodgers come out and he gave his overarching view on this, and he insists that James Maddison is happy with Leicester. And he did say, that contract negotiations have been going on for quite some time. But yeah, as it stands at the moment, Maddison has got around 3 years left on his current contract. For us to convince Leicester to offload James Maddison in the summer, we'd probably have to pay in the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound range. James Maddison is now into his second season with Leicester. He's in his second season and he's been a revelation. So he's replicating what he did in his first season, because I thought James Maddison did really, really well in his first season. James Maddison created more chances than any other player in the Premier League in his first season, so that's a very, very good start. And I think he's made around 70 appearances for Leicester in all competitions. Leicester did pay around £20 million for him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. And he had a good couple of years in the Championship with Norwich. Also, too, he began his career with Coventry, and a lot of teams were tracking him then. And he also had a loan spell with Aberdeen, and James Maddison is only at the age of 23. Basically, we're probably seeing James Maddison as an alternative to Jack Grealish, because there has been reports emerging out saying that Manchester United could miss out on Jack Grealish, because obviously, following the incident, with his £80,000 Range Rover, obviously Jack Grealish has come out and made a public apology, and I think he's been fined around £150,000 for this. And Jack Grealish probably would cost us around maybe 70 or 80 million pounds. So if Pogba leaves in the summer, who should replace him? Now, we know that there's a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at Manchester United, because his future has not yet been resolved. Now, United fans have got different perceptions on this. Some United fans believe he will go in the summer, and some United fans are still convinced he will be at Manchester United next season. Maybe, due to the coronavirus pandemic, or maybe we are sceptical that Real Madrid or Juventus cannot finalise a deal for the player, because we've quoted out that we want at least £100 million for Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. But I do believe the player's perception that, he wants to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. So he's got the same perception as what he had last summer, because Paul Pogba revealed out last summer that he wanted to leave Manchester United to seek for a new challenge. But, his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer, because last summer Manchester United wanted around 180 million for Pogba, and that figure was just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus. And Real Madrid were not willing to meet the £180 million that we was demanding, so this is why the move didn't materialise. But, since Paul Pogba overall rejoined Manchester United from Juventus back in 2016, he's had a long-running transfer saga. There was also a lot of speculation about him leaving under the Jose Mourinho era, but quite a few clubs have expressed their interest in him. If Pogba leaves Manchester United this summer, I think he'll go to Real Madrid. If he doesn't go to Real Madrid, I think he'll make a return back to Turin, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. But I've got to be honest with you, I think the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison. Also, too, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, like I've said on numerous occasions, he's been talking since the turn of the year. He recently was coming out saying that, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. He also, believes that Pogba's having a complicated time at Manchester United. And Manchester United in general, have been very, very critical of Mini Raiola. And he said his client is likely to leave if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. But yeah, he's been subjected to so much transfer speculation as Pogba. As it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba's got 2 years left on his contract. 1 year with an option of a further year. It's probably likely that Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, more than likely. Yeah, more than likely. But Pogba's our most expensive signing, because we paid 89 million for him. Not only our most expensive signing, he's one of the highest paid players at the football club, because he is on around £300,000 a week, is the player. Ed Woodward's had quite a few negotiations with Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, over trying to resolve Paul Pogba's future. But, there we go. So there's still uncertainty over his future. Obviously, don't forget, we had Pogba when he was a lot younger. We had him under the Alex Ferguson era. But due to limited appearances, Manchester United had to decide to let Pogba go. We had to decide to let him go. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries, and due to this, and due to his injuries, and with the length of his lengthy contract, and with him being mainly inconsistent and that, some people believe Pogba's only worth maybe 40 or 50 million pounds, but it's very imperative, if we do sell him, then that we get more than the 89 million pounds that we did pay for him. Don't forget, he also said that Man United are about trophies, and he re-amended our Europa League triumph back in 2017 and that, and he was talking about, Pogba, how much that meant to him. So who should replace him at the football club if he does leave in the summer? Now, I want to give you some more news on Erling Halland from Borussia Dortmund. I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Erling Halland on my video that I did yesterday night. Now, obviously, it says that Manchester United are set to rival Real Madrid for Erling Haaland. Now, reportedly, Erling Haaland has got around a £63 million release clause at Borussia Dortmund, and Man United or Real Madrid are looking to trigger this £63 million release clause. Now, don't forget, revert back to the January transfer window. Manchester United were in for Erling Haaland. Was in for him, and like I did say, it was a shame that we missed out on Erling Haaland, because I think it was an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows the player really, really well, because obviously, Solskjaer, was the one that gave Erling Haaland his debut at Molde at just the age of 16 and that, and he was very, very good during his time with Molde, was Erling Haaland, and obviously Solskjaer is keen on a reunion with the player. Now obviously in January, Solskjaer and Ed Woodward went to meet up with Erling Haaland in Norway to discuss a possible transfer to Manchester United. Now I thought he was also very, very good during his short period with Red Bull Salzburg, was the player. But, Erling Haaland's father, Alf Inge Haaland, he come out with a few main explanations why he didn't come to Manchester United in January and why he went to Dortmund instead. Is because, Man United had no Champions League football to offer. Obviously, there's been uncertainty over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. And plus, his father believes that, we didn't really want Erling Haaland enough. So this is the couple of reasons why he decided to join Borussia Dortmund. And he was a cheap solution as well, because, Dortmund only paid around, 16 or 17 million for him. He's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2024. And I'd take Erling Haaland at Manchester United in the summer transfer window, because we actually are looking for an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. But there's been a few strikers on our agenda anyway. Erling Haaland's enjoyed a good start to his career with Borussia Dortmund. He's got, 12 goals in 11 games. That takes his tally up to 40 goals in 33 games this season in all competitions. And I think he's only the age of 19, or is he 20 now, Erling Haaland. But yeah, I'd love to see him come to Manchester United. Real Madrid, they're looking to do more investment. Real Madrid, did make quite a few signings last summer. Obviously, they got Luka Jovic from Frankfurt. Was it for around 60-odd million? They got Eden Hazard from Chelsea. They got Rodrigo. They got Ferland Mendy. They got Eder Militao. And they also got someone else in Real Madrid. But Real Madrid have also lost a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost Mateo Kovacic. They lost Dani Ceballos. They lost Ronaldo in the summer of 2018. Did Real Madrid. So they do want to make more investment. But hopefully, Manchester United can possibly get a deal finalised for Erling Haaland. So he will cost us around £63 million, will the player. So that's the latest news on him. Also, on my video I did earlier on today, I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Harry Kane. Tottenham have come out and said that they want around £200 million for Harry Kane. But like I said, I'm very sceptical that Harry Kane will come to Manchester United anyway. There's cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. Haaland's a cheaper solution. Aubameyang's a cheaper solution. Timo Werner's a cheaper solution. So I don't think, we should spend up to £200 million on Harry Kane. I don't think Manchester United should do this. But, Solskjaer's identified the areas where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. He thinks, we need to get a right winger in, and we also need to recommend a central midfielder in. So we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad. Solskjaer believes Manchester United need around 3 signings in the summer transfer window for us to become title contenders. If Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in the summer, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, because so far Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at Manchester United and he's spent around £220 million on 5 players. Last summer he brought Daniel James in, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire, and in January he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in. So you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. And also Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. We have seen around 9 players go since he got recommended into the football club. And we are looking to get rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer window and that. But, Solskjaer still knows he's got many expectations to exceed if he is to be given another season at Manchester United. And when the season does eventually resume, he's obviously going to be under pressure to keep this good run of form up, because we are in a good run of form. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and that's our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. But in total, Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for 15 months. This is including the time when he was the interim manager, so he has been here over the year, and he's been permanent Manchester United manager now, officially a year. Another thing I've got to credit Solskjaer for, with him promoting the youth, because he did confirm at the start of this season that, the young players would get given their opportunities, and the young players have been given their opportunities. Also, our record against the Big Six sides this season's been very, very good. We've registered 17 points against the Big Six sides this season. So that's another positive you can take. And Solskjaer's also progressed us to the last 8 of the Europa League. He's also progressed us to the quarter-final of the FA Cup. And they are chances of us getting some silverware on the board. I know there's still been some reports saying that if Manchester United fail to get Champions League qualification, that Solskjaer could still be axed at the end of the season. But, Ed Woodward, who's been here since, 2012. The Glazers, who've been here since 2005. They're still determined to back Solskjaer. But analysing it throughout the course this season, there hasn't only been problems with Solskjaer. There's been problems with Ed Woodward, because a lot of United fans have been criticising him. There's also, been a lot of doubts about the club's ownership, like I mentioned. And we're also very, very sceptical about the board. And there's been issues with, quite a lot of players, throughout the course of this season. But he does deserve another season at the football club, because this is Solskjaer's first full season at the moment as Manchester United manager and that. And like I've said to you, not every manager settles in straight away. Solskjaer, Ferguson, he didn't win out in his first 4 years when we recommended him in from Aberdeen. But, look what he went and accomplished after not winning out in his first 4 years. He's one of the most decorated managers of all time. We won the vast majority of our silverware under Alex Ferguson. I don't think Solskjaer will invoke Ferguson's legacy, but he does deserve more time. Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool, so that's another prime example. But we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. We sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. So we've had different managers with different philosophies. Manchester United have recruited around 31 players in, or a bit more than that, but it's definitely over 30 players in since the Ferguson era, and we spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting, new players in, including what we spent under Solskjaer. Obviously, David Moyes, he brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata in. He spent around 67 million on them. Louis van Gaal spent a good 200 odd million pounds at the club. He brought the likes of Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Morgan Schneiderlin, Memphis Depay, Falcao, Di Maria, Daley Blind, Memphis Depay. Louis van Gaal brought all them players in. Obviously brought Martial and Luke Shaw in, so he brought quite a lot of players in, did Louis van Gaal. And obviously, the vast majority of the players have left now from Louis van Gaal era. And, Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the football club. And obviously the vast majority of them players are still here now. So just put into the equation, Solskjaer is still inheriting, he's inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players and that. So he does need more time, and I think a lot of young players are excited about, Solskjaer's transfer strategy, because Solskjaer's transfer strategy is to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United. Now, Solskjaer, was a great player for the football club because he endured 11 years at Manchester United. As a manager, he's inexperienced, but, the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to gain more experience. So let's just put that into the equation and that. So, yeah, and by the way, Solskjaer has come out and said that the NHS workers are real heroes. This is something else he's come out with, and he came out a couple of days ago and says that he's still getting in contact, with the players and the staff via the WhatsApp, because obviously Premier League clubs are in lockdown and stuff like that. But, due to this corona, virus outbreak and that, teams could lose millions in transfer revenues and stuff like that. Obviously, the Premier League has been suspended since the 9th of March. It did get suspended till the 3rd of April, but obviously now, as you all know, the other week the suspension got extended until at least the 30th of April. I do believe another emergency meeting will be scheduled, obviously, to establish plans for the remainder of the season. I was hearing recent rumours saying that the Premier League are planning to resume the season at the start of May to avoid TV contract rebates of £762 million. And it says it has to be, completed on the 12th of July. It has to be completed before the 16th of July, to avoid TV contract rebate. So that's the latest I did hear. Some people are actually saying that, the Premier League season should be void completely. But it won't be void because it's extended indefinitely. So no matter what, the season will resume. So Liverpool will not have to worry about that. But yeah, so that's mainly everything to update you with today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.